guys, it's me, Morgan. Today I'm just sitting outside. I figured I would do a sort of like update video on my health. So I did go to a motility doctor on Thursday, so a couple of days ago at this point. But to summarize, background information, every single time that I eat, like before I even finish my meal and for hours after, my throat makes like a weird growling noise and I feel like a bubble of like pressure in my chest, and it's been moving down to where I get major bloating and cramping in my stomach, where it's like stabbing pain, and it's making it to where I can really only eat like one full meal a day. So that's kind of what's going on with me. I had gone to a gastroenterologist, found out that I have a hiatic hernia, and I had polyps on my vocal cords, so he wanted me to go to an ENT and motility testing. I went to the ENT to look into the supposed polyps. I can't remember what exactly they did, but they took a camera and basically like stuck it down my throat and looked at it, and I have very severe bruising from acid reflux, which is another thing that I always forget that I have, but I guess I do have. It's just in the grand scheme of things doesn't really bother me as much. So I was put on Prilosec to help that, which has been helping, but honestly, again, I kind of ignore that problem because in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't bother me as much as the other things. But the ENT wanted me to pursue the motility testing, so I went to a motility doctor and did a consult with her on Thursday. She does suspect that I have a motility disorder of some sort, so we're doing a few different tests. The first one we're doing, which is where I have to go back to her office on Royal Oak, is where it's an esophageal manometry test, where they stick a catheter through my nose and it goes down my throat, and it kind of measures the pressures and contractions and things like that of my esophagus to see if that's working properly, because she said I could be having basically Charlie horses of my esophagus, where it doesn't do one fluid motion contraction like it's supposed to, and it's disjointed, I guess. And then we're gonna do that test, which takes half an hour to an hour, and then right when they do that, they take that catheter out and they replace it with another one that will end up actually being taped to my face and connected to a little computer to get the data. And I have that in for 24 hours, and that monitors pH levels, so we can see if that's an issue. And then another test that I have to do in Wyandotte, which is a little closer to me, luckily, is that it's called a gastric emptying test, I believe. And that is where you eat a little scrambled eggs, and it has radioactive material in it. And then over a course of 4 hours, periodically, they take x-rays to kind of see where the food is. And she told me that it's considered a positive test if you still have more than 10% of the food left in your stomach after the 4 hours. I could have all of these problems. I could have none of these problems. But everything she was discussing adds up to my symptoms and things like that, and it kind of all makes sense. So, yeah, that's what's happening. It's a weird thing right now because on one hand, I'm very excited and I'm gonna feel so validated to have a name for everything going on with me and possibly treatment and not having to deal with this thing that stresses me out and that I live with, and I'm in pain 24 hours a day because I'm either in pain after eating or I'm basically starving. Another part of me is a little bit, even though I have something wrong with me anyway, as it is, just because you give it a name doesn't mean that it's just a new thing, but it's gonna be scary, somebody telling you have something that's wrong with you, especially because motility disorders are not very common, and the fact that I could have multiple, I don't know, it's just a different perspective, I guess, because even though it affects me every day, it's still kind of one of those things that I can just pretend is not happening. It's hard to explain. I know it's happening, it bothers me all the time, I think about it all the time, but in a weird way, if I don't say anything, I can just pretend it doesn't exist. But if I'm told that I have something wrong with me, it's like, it like makes it more real. Especially because it is like a pretty rare thing to have a motility disorder. I look forward to finding a community, I guess, if I do have one of these, and like TikTok or this and that. But, you know, in my real life, I doubt that I'm gonna meet anybody. Oh, it's just a weird spot that I'm in, and I figured even though I don't have an actual answer yet, I would do an update and just kind of how I'm feeling and what's going on. I'm currently waiting for the doctor's offices to call me to schedule those things, but it's Memorial Day weekend, so I don't know when they're gonna call me. But I just wanted to kind of pop in and I guess document where I'm at right now, and I will update once I get more answers and things, hopefully. It's a weird feeling, but at the same time I'm very optimistic and like relieved that we've made it this far, that I feel like I'm in like the final stretch. I just have to do this testing and know what's going on, hopefully I'm not wrong this time, because there's been many times that I've been really close to getting an answer and then I end up not getting an answer. And I've been dealing with this I went to the doctor 3 years ago for this originally, and it's been going on a lot longer than that, at least 5 years, where it's been painful. But my whole life I've never been able to burp and had the pressure gradually building, and then it's just getting worse and worse. And that's another thing, is not knowing, you know, how much worse I can get, because 5 years ago I was not really in pain every day, and now I am. So just thinking about what's going to happen next. Like, what is it going to look like in 5 years for me? It's like, I know that it can happen to anybody, you know, like things like that, but it being your reality is a little interesting, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's going to understand anything I just was talking about, but I'm just waiting for my testing so I can get some answers. I was gonna say I hope you enjoyed the video, but I don't know if you enjoyed it, I guess. But let me know if you're somehow able to relate to this, whether it is to do with some medical condition or anything else. But I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.